Welcome to my presentation on transforming programming for 21st century teaching and learning for the final project of the graduate course for Dr. Aaron Keith. Please take a moment to check out the website www.meadowvaleibt.ca, the first component of my final project, before continuing with this PowerPoint presentation. Deeper learning allows the individual to transfer what was learned to solving problems. Boss, 2015. I've applied this quote in my final project. I've aimed to take the knowledge I've gained from learning about 21st century teaching and learning and applying it in the new context of the school program I coordinate for my school board. In the spring, I decided to see how we were doing in the program by collecting data of various forums. So we did a think tank with students and teachers for the day. We did, using Google Forms, a survey for both students and parents to get feedback, and I worked with the teacher committee on a regular basis to get their feedback. Overwhelmingly, I learned three things. One, that students want a more innovative approach from the traditional methods as they are in a specialized program. Two, that students wanted more hands-on activities and trips despite the academic nature of the program. And lastly, that students wanted more opportunities for collaboration and working in team settings. The inquiry question that I used: how can the IBT, International Business and Technology Program, evolve to be more innovative and based in 21st century methodology? So just to give you some background on what the IBT program is, so the new updated definition is IBT is an innovative regional program based in 21st century skills, teaching Ontario curriculum through the lens of business and technology. Students not only gain knowledge, but acquire the skills to apply their learning in innovative new context. So to give you background, the program has been going for about 5 years, and students apply to be in it in grade 8. So there's an application process where they have to hand in a small essay, their marks are looked at. We usually have quite a few applicants and narrow them down to about 75. So within each year, there's approximately 75, so about 300 students are in the program. An emphasis on deeper learning requires a shift in the role of teaching from focusing on covering all required content to focusing on the learning process, developing students' ability to lead their own learning and to do things with their learning. Teachers are partners with students in deep learning tasks characterized by exploration, connectiveness, and broader real-world purposes. And this is from Fullen and Langworthy, as cited in the Ministry of Education. So when we started our program 5 years ago, we wanted to make it as innovative as possible. So it was very technology-based. It's a paperless program. A lot of Web 2.0 tools are used, and teachers revamped curriculum to match the business and technology mindset. So it was innovative. However, now it's starting to look a little bit more like traditional schooling. It's not really cutting edge 21st century. So we want to evolve the program, and we need to think differently about how we're going to approach it. For my final project, I decided to make a website for parents that are interested in the IBT program. In October, parents will be going to different regional program meetings to discover more about the different programs that are offered within our school board. So I'll have about 400 to 600 parents that'll be coming in to learn more about IBT. So I think this will be a good time to launch the changes I do want to implement in IBT based on the 21st century teaching and learning course. I'll also use the website on our current school website as a link so parents can get in more information. So I just want to give you an overview of what we're looking for as a vision for an IBT graduate. So we want them to know. So we want them to have a basic understanding of the core elements of business and technology. We want them to have an understanding. We want them to have knowledge. We want them to have a high level of competence. Next, we want them to do. So we want them to think critically. We want them to build resilience and confidence. We want them to collaborate, and we want them to articulate big ideas. And lastly, we want them to be. So as people, we want them to be perseverant and motivated and open-minded global thinkers. This is very much based on Bloom's taxonomy. So looking at the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy, edited by Lauren Anderson and David Crotwell, that uses verbs instead rather than nouns, starting at remembering and heading up to creating. So we want them to know, which is based on remembering and understanding. We want them to be, which would be applying and analyzing, and lastly to do, which is looking at evaluating and creating. So the do would be based more in the 21st century learning skills. So I want firstly to look at project-based learning. So why project-based learning? So students are able to gain 21st century skills such as collaboration, effective communication, and critical thinking skills, according to BOSS. So what we're looking for in our students is when they graduate from IBT, they're entering the work world as critical thinkers that can innovatively come up with new ideas and are flexible in their workplaces. Students in school today can expect to have more than 11 different jobs between the ages of 18 and 42. So this was by trilling a few years ago. Probably at this point that would even be higher. So we need students that are able to adapt to the way things are going to be and not just Google their solutions. And this very much is tied in with partners and knowledge building as well. So acquiring confidence in knowledge creation by actually doing it. So we looked at the idea of passion projects for the 2018-19 school year. So a passion project will work within their integrated morning class. IBT students will personally choose a curriculum-rated project based on their own interests after consulting with their teachers. It begins with inquiry questions, so students will individually identify an issue they're personally interested in and begin an investigation, which will later result in a presentation in front of their learning community or in the larger community. So students are going to find things that they're personally passionate about and they want to go further with, and they'll do this on concentrated times on Fridays, so they can work with the teachers that are there from multiple disciplines as well as their peers in the grade 9 cohort, and they'll have time so we can work in our learning commons, which is very technology based. We can go in the greater community or we can go on field trips. We'll very much be student driven depending on what they're working on in their project. And I think assessment is very important looking at this. So we need triangulation of data. So we're not only just looking at the product, but very much looking at conversations and observations in the classroom. So passion projects is a means of knowledge building. So knowledge needs to be of value to people in their current lives, not merely banked against future needs. At all stages, people are building authentic knowledge that is immediately useful for themselves and their community in making sense of the world. So what I like about passion projects is something real that the students can use in their real lives. I had a student this year who spent every lunch hour working on a website that they very passionately were interested in because they wanted to start their own business. It wasn't tied to anything they were doing in class. However, because they enjoyed it so much, they spent all their free time doing it. He didn't get any marks for it. So I think that'd be a perfect example of what would be a great passion project for students. They'll also get expertise from teachers from a range of disciplines, and this is very much in line with the Growing Success document. So in order to do this properly, I wanted to look at integrated curriculum and changing how we look at school structure. Integrated curriculum teaches core concepts and skills by connecting multiple subjects to a unifying theme or issue, according to the Ministry of Ontario. So using school structure of the day, there's more opportunities for project-based learning and knowledge building to be successful by integrating different subjects. I was first introduced to integrated curriculum while working at a demonstration school for the Ministry of Education for students with severe learning disabilities. The traditional model had not worked for these students, and as a teacher team, we sought to change our approach using Inquiry Project PBL model. We ended up using integrated curriculum and merging credits together in order to have the time and resources we needed for a large-scale PBL project, which worked well, both for the teachers that enjoyed the experience and the students who found success using this approach. So for the IBT program looking to start in the 2018-19 school year, the students would have 3 different packages that they could choose from based on their optional course as well linked to a mandatory course. So they can do technology and math together, business and French, or they could do science and art. So students would have the same teacher for the entire morning, although they'd specialize in both areas of the curriculum being covered. They stay with that class for the morning, and then they wouldn't have to do the traveling between classes. However, we will make sure that the 3 classes will be near each other so the students can collaborate. Teachers will plan curriculum in unison with curricular department heads as well in order to make sure that all curricular expectations for the next year of high school are being met. This will give students a chance to engage in more project-based learning and to go deeper in their learning. As well, teachers will have the opportunity to plan out-of-school experiences without worrying and impeding on curriculum being taught in other courses. So there are benefits of integrated curriculum. There's quite a few. So students can make natural connections between subjects, using knowledge in one subject to help them go deeper in their learning in another. There's more links to the real world, which will help them after graduation. There's more class time to complete assignments and less repetition of curriculum expectations. Assessment tasks cover more than one subject, resulting in a smaller workload for students and a chance for them to go deeper in the projects that they're working on. There's more opportunities for field trips with less concerns over missing other classes. The next thing that I want to look at is technology, which is a huge part of project-based learning with technology and 21st century teaching. So why concentrate on technology? So the world is rapidly changing, and one of education's chief roles is to prepare future workers and citizens to deal with the challenges of their time. As students prepare for entering the world of work after graduation, they need the 21st century skills necessary to find success in their future fields. With the use of technology in the classroom, students can open the door to collaboration, professional tools, and current information. 21st century jobs require the ability to think abstractly, think complexly, show flexibility, and communicate. In the IBT program, we seek to foster these skills in our students using technology as a tool. So as Boss said, in an environment that fosters deeper learning, technology needs to be like oxygen, ambiguous, necessary, and invisible. So we want our IBT students to be using tools within the classroom that professionals are using in their own industries. And as they go through their passion projects, because we do have funding with the IBT program, you can use tools that coincide with what they are doing in the classroom and what they're learning about. We also have the BYOD approach in Peel District School Board. So students are already bringing their devices to school and using what they're using at home already. So although we are a technology program, we need to switch our thinking to seeing technology as a tool rather than the end goal. This will also help with purchasing decisions in the future. At the core of technology, we are talking about a new culture of learning and how this new culture will grow in the new technological setting. So learning connected to the real world. So in order for the learning in the classroom to be real, it needs to also connect to the community outside of the classroom. With 21st century teaching and learning, the educational domain goes far beyond the classroom. Planning trips that enhance the program is based on PBL and the students' passion projects working in conjunction with teachers and students, planning enhancements that bring learning to the next level, and student voice is key. So as we look to the future, I want to start a student executive where students can let us know what they're working on, for example, in their passion projects and what they'd be interested in going to see. So instead of teachers coming up with trips and just pulling kids out of the classroom, we want the students to be directing where they would like to be going and see their learning and making sure that it is based in the international business and technology background of our program. So some examples of things that we've done in the past. We have been very fortunate to go on quite a few trips. So we've done the first robotics competition through the University of Waterloo almost every year. Last year we got the opportunity to link with Microsoft and went to the Power Up conference. We've been to numerous different universities, for example, to University of Guelph for a chemistry and biology lab, or to York University Business Schools to see what's possible for our students after graduation. And we also have examples of academic enhancements, so things that we can do within the programming in school. So for example, unique science sections such as sharks, using drone technology and robotics kits, as well as using more the business side of the Sage accounting software in the Leaping Master University program. Community connections are also an important part of a successful program. Safe, nurturing, and caring environments enable youth to explore a variety of options and roles, facilitate the development of positive mentor relationships, and contribute to the development of adolescents' personal assets. Our communities are full of potential learning partners and experts in their fields who lay just outside of the school door. I found that they enjoy working with students not only for the experience of working with schools, but also because students are the future innovators and employees in their industries, and they enjoy the opportunity to work with them and hear their ideas. As part of the IBT program, they also have to do a portfolio component in each different grade. So this is going to evolve as well as I try to make it a more 21st century lens program. So in grade 9, students complete a student version of a LinkedIn profile where they look at their accomplishments, community service, academic progress, and co-curricular activities. They will be partnered with a senior IBT student mentor who will guide them in creating a portfolio and act as a peer evaluator during a live presentation. They also individual will work with that student throughout the year, helping them with their project, helping them just transition into high school and being a peer model for that student. This will continue into grade 10, so they'll build upon their LinkedIn profile, as well as doing the presentation with their mentor at the end of the school year. In grade 11, we do something totally different. So we have an overnight leadership retreat, and before that retreat, students work on a website. So it's a website where they share their plans for post-secondary, their career aspirations, how they're going to implement their goals. As it is a technology program, they let us know about the technology that exists in their future program. They look at current trends in technology, as well as what jobs are available and statistics in the different demographics of jobs that they're interested in. In grade 12, that is their leadership experience year, and that's when they act as mentors to the grade 9s and 10s, but they're working very closely with a teacher coordinator as well and getting guidance from them. The KBC model requires that students set personal and group goals, acquire and critique resources, monitor ongoing growth, and modify their strategies in light of the progress they are making both individually and as a group. The portfolio project that the IBT students engage in goes quite well with this type of learning. Lastly, we want to look at parent connections, which are very important for students to be engaged in the class. So we have the different Twitter handles that parents can use, such as the IBT one, the one for guidance, and for the school. We have a website that parents can check out, and then this website as well will be linked on the IBT portion of that website. And I also linked the surveys for both parents and students so we can get feedback throughout the school year and how we're doing. And lastly, I want to look at the challenges and solutions that exist for implementing 21st century teaching and learning. So the first is getting all teachers on board to want to support the program changes. So there's a quote by Jason McDonald in his Pulling in Some Big Ideas post during Work 3 on Knowledge Forum for a 21st century teaching and learning course. Take staff that you do have on board and work hard with them for the betterment of kids. Let the others see the success and hopefully they will join later. I loved what he said there, and I definitely want to use that. We are very fortunate that we have a committee of teachers at our school that are quite excited about IBT and improving it. And we also have the 3 teachers that are interested in the integrated curriculum. So moving that forward and kind of going through different training with those teachers, hopefully other teachers will see what we're doing and it will snowball. The next one is to have parents on board. So the key is to keep them informed and involved in what is happening. I'll invite them to express their opinions via surveys, such as the one on the website, and taking part a few times a year in the student council that will start in September. I need to communicate better with them, letting them not only know what we're doing, but why. They need to see the academic benefits of what we're accomplishing through knowledge building. For the challenge of getting training and time for teachers, we're able to provide professional development through administration support. As we have 3 teachers that will be involved in the implementation stage during the first year, we can visit other schools that are using a more innovative model, both within our school board, but also outside of it. We can go to the Google conference in September, as well as other training to enhance related technology skills, such as RoboGeeks in Milton, Ontario. As well, we're able to receive support from the school board, such as the expertise of our information technology resource teacher and other schools that are using robotic equipment that can collaborate with us. In terms of having students see beyond grades to their greater learning, it may be a slow process. As we're starting with the grade 9 students that are new to the secondary level, it may alleviate some of the growing pains. The use of regular teacher conferencing to share their progress or formative assessment will need to be a regular part of teacher best practices. As students partake in knowledge building, especially with their passion project, the goal will be for the students to start becoming more personally invested in their learning rather than their assessment. As Voss stated, heightened student engagement has long been identified as a key benefit of project-based learning. And on the last few slides, I share the references that I used in this project. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.